You know what I mean? Good evening, folks. Thanks for coming in. I hope you're all doing well. My wire's stuck again, and I need to get a new system. Every single show, my wire gets stuck on this chair. You know what I mean? So I hope everybody's doing well, and we've got a heat wave now in Scotland. That's the way I'm dressed. Excuse the attire. Well, I'm a wee bit red there, see that?
Wee bit burnt.
You're burnt, aye. It's the top of my head. I get in trouble after Saturday because I cut the grass without wearing a hat. But, you know, you forget these kind of things. Talking of which, there's the wife in, evening B. So tonight we are joined by this young lady again. I'm going to call you Caroline there. It's not Caroline, it's Catherine. Catherine McLean from Unlocked Paranormal, or is that what people call her? Cat.
Just call me Cat.
Just call her Cat. Saves any mix up around. I don't know where I get Caroline from. And last year, she actually started to do her American side again, Kimber. She was on 2 nights ago, and I was calling her Kimberly. And I got her second name wrong on the post that I did. Because I put up, Kimber Richards, and she mailed me and said, my second name's no Richards. It's Williams. I thought, well, we do that, but, we forget people's names and stuff like that. Some people say it's old age. I don't believe them, So how are we, Kat? What's happening?
Yeah, all right, not much. Just enjoying this good weather that we've got. It's for a change.
Well, they've been predicting it for last week, because last week was crap, as you know.
Oh, it was
come Wednesday, you're going to get a heat wave. So I was a bit dubious when I opened the blind curtains and peeked out this morning. I thought, oh no, true enough. I actually got to as high as 24, 20, 25, but England's getting hammered. Rosie and Emma, they're in Southampton. They're coming up in a couple of weeks. That's what I was telling you about, but you're off to...
I know, we're going to miss them. We're away to Albania.
So, cancel, postpone or something?
Could you maybe just come to Albania?
Well, it'd be a lot easier just to cancel. You know what I mean? Albania, I've never thought of going to Albania. What's Albania like?
Do you know, it was my son. It was like, Mum, can we go to Albania? And I'm like, all right. So I looked into it thinking, nobody ever goes to Albania. But apparently, loads of folk go to Albania. It's the place to be this summer. There's a few folk I've spoke to that have been and they said it's great. So we'll give it a bash, see what like it is. It's roasting as well though. They're meant to be like 34 degrees. So I don't know how we're going to cope with the heat.
I was going to say that when you say Albania, you think places like, where Dracula lived and stuff, big mountains and snow and all the rest of it. But it's not like that.
No, it's see if you went to the southernmost part of Italy and then crossed the water, that's Albania. Mm-hmm. So it's like the same sort of climate that you would get in southern Italy.
Right, got you now. As tempting as that sounds, Kat, we can't all just pack up and come to Albania with you because Rosie, I don't think Rosie and Emma would want to come anyway.
Do you know what would be good though? A wee trip to Transylvania would be nice.
It looks fascinating. I've seen documentaries about Dracula's castle and stuff like that, and somebody's meant to be buried there in the grounds of the castle. I can't remember who it is. I think it was actual Ghost Adventures I watched it, so it's a bit dubious, the story. But there's a few places I'd like to go, but Alcatraz, San Quentin, the Winchester House, places like that.
That'd be great, the Winchester House.
Seriously, about.
If I had an unlimited budget, I'd probably start at America, travel all through as many places, all the prisons, the Winchester House, all the weird places, and then hit Europe and Africa. And I don't really know much about Australia, that side of the world, but I'd just do a world tour, all the weirdest places you can think of.
Well, Sarah's brother, he been there in Australia 3 times because we've had to take him to Heathrow and pick him back up again because he's flew for Heathrow. It's a 17-hour flight or something to Heathrow direct. And then he had another, I think it was another 6-hour flight to, try to think, he flew from Heathrow to Melbourne or Sydney or something like that. It was 17 hours, and then he to get another adjoining flight from there to where he was, near where he was going. That was another 6 hours, and then I think it was an hour and a half bus journey from the airport there to. So you're talking about 25 hours travelling.
Ah, see, that's too much. I can't do that. That's like, you've lost a day just travelling. I'm not built for that.
No. I did years and years ago. We went to Estoril in Spain, and we got the coach club Cabana or something it was called, because it was working at about £1,000 cheaper. And we left Buchanan bus station at 3 o'clock on the Saturday morning, and we arrived in Estoril just after lunchtime on the Sunday, and it was a journey from hell.
I can imagine.
Oh, there's Sarah's put up. He flew London to Perth and Perth to Melbourne in a 2-3 hour bus journey to Victoria. That's what I was all kind of on the same track, you know. By that's what you call travelling. I mean, but no, I was about 36, 30 hours on a coach, and never ever again. Obviously, we take him back on the coach, I know.
Oh no, forget that.
Well, we did when we were out there. We did look into flights from Girona, which is the nearest airport, but they couldn't get the flights; were all full. So we had to get the coach back again. But don't if you're ever going to go and travel with coach to Spain or something, don't do it. There's no.
I don't know if you still can, but you used to be able to get a bus from Glasgow to Poland. That was a trek as well.
I on the ferry.
Eh?
Would you go? You'd need to go on the ferry, would you know?
Aye, so you get the coach at Glasgow and then go is it Eurotunnel or whatever it's called? Then you'd either get the tunnel or the ferry, hit Europe. I think it was France, and then from France you would head to Poland.
If you take the Eurotunnel, you're going from Glasgow, you're getting all the way down, you're across, and then you're going back up the way to Poland.
I don't know what way they'd go. I think because it's a bus, there was stops, so it wasn't like a direct, like Glasgow all the way there. They would stop en route to let people on and off. So you could maybe do like Glasgow to London, and you could go off at London, but it would continue through London all the way to like wherever it was getting off, France, and then through there. So it would have multiple stops for folk. So it wasn't just got on at Glasgow, finish at Poland. It would stop in different countries for folk.
Oh no!
But I don't think it's still running. This was years ago.
No, I don't. I wouldn't do it now. I'd drive in the car. See, I talked about that before. I would do that. Drive to Spain in the car, because you're under your own steam basically. Whereas you're sitting on a bus, you're at the mercy of the driver basically. And 50 plus people on the same coach for 36 hours. Not great.
No.
No way. Just that wee room up the back. Shall we? That's enough sage. You know what I mean? But this is a paranormal show, folks. But anybody's watched their shows will know you just waffle on about, anything and everything. But it's a shame to use her away when Rosie and Emma are up. They're up for a week.
Where are you going to go?
We are going to go to Loudon. We're going to go to Caldwell. We're going to go over to Millport for the day.
Nice.
And we're going to go through Edinburgh. We've arranged for them to get into the Covenanters prison.
Okay.
The last time they were up, they never managed to get into the prison. They went to Edinburgh, but they never managed to get to Greyfriars or what have you. So I spoke to Jamie Christopherson, and we're going to take them into Greyfriars and show them the bits and pieces. And And then the farm at Loudon as well. Spoke to
Mhm.
them, we're going to get them up to the farm, which we need to use up to it as well at one point.
I know.
Because it's no, we were meant to be going to Loudon today, but it was too warm.
Aye.
You know what it's like yourself. You're out doing an investigation and the sun's just, you know. So we're going to go there Saturday night. We're going when it's a wee bit cooler.
Aye,
There's no-
it's too hot in the day.
Well, we did this a couple of years ago. We went to Stair, which is a small village, about half an hour from us, and it was something like Sarah will probably correct me, but I think it was about 30 degrees or something, and we gave up.
Hmm.
We just, it was just too warm to concentrate. Even sitting in the shade, you were sitting there sweating. I thought, you know what, everybody was melting. I don't know. Let's just call it a day. 30, 31, seriously. I was really right, 30, 31. But everybody was just melting that day, can't we? Thought, do you know what, this isn't. But as much as we love doing it, we don't love it this much.
Right, so if you're draining, it's too much in the heat.
It is, it does, it just drains the life right away. You will be yourself. You ever investigated what it's been like being on the sun?
No, really. We've in fact, have we? No, but we have. So usually when we go to our venues and stuff, we always say to folk, wrap up warm because it's going to be freezing. Even if it's warm during the day, it'll be cold at night. And then we went to Renfrew Baths, which is still an active pool.
Mm-hmm.
It was roasting. We were absolutely melting. We told everyone to wrap up warm because it would be freezing. We get in there and we were all having to take jackets and jumpers and everything off because it was so hot. And I'm like, that's a lesson learned. If you're ever investigating a swimming pool that's still being used as a swimming pool, you don't need to wrap up. It was so hot. Like, people were falling asleep because of the heat. And I'm like, yeah, that was a mistake. Don't get me wrong, it's a great venue, but you don't need to wrap up warm.
So what I've never investigated the baths or anything like that. What kind of stuff happened? What went on?
So it's notorious. You can't get into it now, the basement. So we're going there in October, but the basement now is too dangerous, just structurally. So that was like the plant room under the pool. That was great. We get some of our best activity down there, like poltergeist activity and noises and shadow figures. I've got a photo up at poolside. So if you don't know the swimming itself, it's still got the original, like when the stalls are all around the side of the pool, the wee changing cubicles. Can't remember off the top. It was built just at the end of the First World War. So it's like still got its original like decor. It's not like a modern looking pool. So above that, in the seating area, I've got a photograph and it looks like a small boy. Obviously it's open to interpretation, but to me it looks like a child. But when I took the photo, there was nobody there. But in the photo, there is something there. But there's rumours that there was a child had died in the pool at some point. It was also used as a makeshift morgue during the Second World War, I believe. So they drained the pool and put the bodies in it. Hi. So activity around about poolside, you get the cubicle doors open and shutting. People have seen, so got members of staff at night when they're doing their walk round, have seen like feet under the stalls, thinking that there's still people in. So they've went to be like, oh, that's us, we're closing. And they've checked the stalls and there's nobody there. Footsteps, sounds like people talking, the usual sorts of activity. Children laughing, you get that quite a lot. The gym area, we've had like punch bags moving, so like swinging themselves when nobody's been near them. Just stuff like that. It's a really interesting building. Whether you go for a swim during the day or whether you're investigating at night, it's a pretty good building.
There's Mel, Laura's daughter. Hi, Mel, Dot. That's we Mel, it's Laura's daughter. But as when you say staff are reporting seeing feet underneath the cubicle doors. I mean, that in itself, you know, to me, these people have. I was talking to Kimber. I was talking to the other night about this. You know, people who give accounts of what they're seeing, but they're not interested in fame or magazines or, you know, anything like that. They're just telling people, you know, I've seen this or I've seen that. So for them to say they've seen, you know, they've noticed feet underneath the door, that surely says something. You know, we kind of hard to debunk. If one person just saw it, then without doubt, but if numerous people say the same thing, then I think there's some sort of credibility to it. What did you think? Did you feel anything or?
Definitely in the basement area and up. We say upstairs, so you're up in the stalls area, so you're technically upstairs, but you're still in the pool area. There was things up there. But it's interesting what you're saying about the staff, because it becomes normal for them. They're just like, oh, aye, it's just a ghost. That's just their jobs. They're used to it. They don't. Well, for whatever reason, that particular part of the building didn't scare them. A lot of them will not go into the basement themselves. So that says a lot as well. But you're right, they're not in it for fame, or the majority of the time they don't even say anything unless you ask. So the only reason we knew about that is because when we were there, we happened to say to one of the guys, oh, have you ever seen anything? Do you think the place is haunted? And they'll say, oh, well, actually, I've seen this. But they're only telling you because you're asking. They're not out there publicising it or trying to get any attention for it, which makes it more credible, I think.
They don't run out the front door like that. I seen, you know, a ghost in the locker room. Who wants to talk to me? Who wants my name and stuff like that? You know, they're not interesting. Just you're saying swimming. You know what popped into my head there? When I stayed in East Kilbride, used to go to Dolan Baths. I mean, the Dolan Baths, I think the Dolan Aqua Centre or something it's called now. And I actually Googled it last week or something. I was sitting, you know, I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes you'll think of a place you used to go as a kid, and you'll Google it just to see if it's changed there or if it's still standing. You know what I mean? And I was looking at pictures of the Dolan Baths, and it's never ever changed.
No.
It's a bit of useless information, but you know, it's just one of these things that pop into my head.
I love looking at old 40s buildings. The only thing that's changed is, do you remember the canteen used to be upstairs above the pool? That's a gym. I think that's a gym or a studio or something now. That's not there.
That's because we used to come out to swimming, go up the stairs and get a bridie.
It's chips and vinegar.
Oh no, it was a bridie for us though. We went up the stairs and got a bridie. Your mum gave you enough money. I always remember the old used to pay your clothes in a basket.
That's right, aye.
You remember that? The big baskets you used to get in.
Aye, and they'd have a ticket and they'd put it in that big nail.
Aye. And then if you didn't come out when your number was called, they would go down and get your basket and they would hang it out of the shadow end.
Aye.
Did you ever see them doing that? Used to go like that, right? You know, number 27, last chance, get out. And I don't remember if they ever dumped any of his clothes, but they taught them out of the shadow end of the pool. So,
do you remember the wee thing you had to walk through before you went in the pool?
Aye, the wee step down.
It was like a sheep dip for people.
I remember that. Aye. It was a wee step down and for your feet and then a wee step up. And then you went up the stairs. Was it up the stairs to the pool? I think we went up the stairs to the pool for the guys. But that's what it was like, a sheep dip.
Aye.
You know.
You don't get that swimming now?
You don't. No, you obviously get the showers before you get into the pool, but no, I used to get the sheep dip, but you did sawn and that, and then you didn't have any choice because you couldn't exactly jump out. It was too bloody big. You know, so you had to get through it. And always remember the smell of bleach.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's one thing that stuck in my head was the smell of the bleach every single time you went. But the baskets are and then I don't know if it's still there or no. When you went inside, when you're in the front door, there was a window
That's right.
at the deep end, and all you would see was all these legs kind of like that. You know, or folks' backsides, or you know, whatever, and in the pool. And you'd be strong there.
I don't know if they get replaced, but folk broke in and smashed a hole in it and flooded the place. And I don't know if they ever replaced it.
They smashed it?
They smashed it. They put a crack in it. Took them a good few attempts because it was solid, thick glass. But I'm sure they cracked it and it caused a leak. And I don't know if they ever put another bit of glass in it or if they just filled it in.
Christ, that's a lot. That's a lot of work. One of my mates climbed onto the roof one time. So you get the bits of the front.
Aye, yeah.
He went right up on top of the roof. I was like, no chance. But he was right up in the, you know, in the middle of the roof. And then we thought he was going to fall off, but then he came sliding back down this guy was nuts. You know, I'm going up that roof. So I on you go then, Russell, go. And he did. So he's right up that roof. But no, it's weird because you Google these places you used to hang about just to see if they're still the same. You know, and a lot of it's totally changed now. But that's no paranormal talk. As I say, folks, sometimes you just come on here and waffle. Cat's famous for it. Does all the time.
Oh, notorious. Absolutely notorious.
Even our other half says waffle, waffle, waffle. You know what I mean? So have you been out lately?
Not recently, but I have been doing is trying to work on venues for next. No, that's a lie. We went to Newsham Park Asylum a few weeks back, which was interesting.
So what happened to make it interesting?
Well, there was a lot of potential, but I feel like it was wasted. The whole investigation, it was by a different company, and the whole investigation just felt rushed. We were getting some good hits and starting to get some activity. Would be interrupted, and then it was time to move on. And then there was a whole section where you could wander about and do your own thing, and everyone that was there thought we'd be able to use the kit that they'd set up because they had some really interesting experiments in that set up. But as soon as they were done, they took all the kit away and then was like, right, just wander about yourself. And we were like, but nobody's brought any kit. And some people that were there, it was their first time doing anything like this, so they don't have anything. So they were just kind of left to wander about themselves and be like, what do I do? What do I use? What's going on here? So it's a bit, I don't want to say poorly organised because it was all right, but there was some of it that could have been better. So, and as for the activity, it was building up, but it got rushed and we get moved along. So I can't even really say that we get some good activity. But the building itself, absolutely fascinating.
Well, we need to have a look at that one. See, we tend to stick to the same places where we know we're guaranteed activity. But no, we went to an event like that, I don't know, about 3 years ago or something. We went with Spig. It wasn't Spig that organised it. They came ways. It was one of the sets of vaults in Edinburgh. And there was another team there, and there was members of the public there. But we were just all sat in a room, and the person who was organising it was blah, 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 and then he disappeared into one of the rooms with his team. And we're kind of sitting there, so, you know, right, you know, what do we do? Where are we going? Obviously, we'd investigated before, but it was the first kind of event we went to. And we were left just to wander about. And some of the public garden, they left. And we left early. We were meant to be there till about 4 a.m, but I think it was around about 1 o'clock. We were sitting in this wee room, and we thought, you know what, let's get Spig with the same. No, let's go up the road because there was no interaction. Or no, I'm not an expert at setting up events, you know. but you need to involve your guests, your public. You need to, as you say, he felt like you were getting hurt just in a wee shoulder there.
That's my children.
Hello.
Right, move. Go shut the door. Sorry.
No, our daughter does the exact same. She'll creep in and smile. She'll creep up and smile, and then disappear again. I think it's just a curiosity thing, But so we left about 1 o'clock, and it was in Edinburgh, so it wasn't exactly just round the corner for us.
Yeah.
And I don't think we even told the guy we were leaving. I think we just grabbed our bags and buggered off.
Mm-hmm. It's disappointing though when you're looking forward to a venue or an event, and it's geared up to be really, really good, and it's a company that's been doing it for years, and then you turn up and you're like, this is. I could have done it better.
I've had this guy on the show a couple of times and stuff, and he seemed all right, And but well, tonight's got to be a good night, It's time. It's so and so that's organising it, so we're all. And then we thought somebody just came up and burst the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
There was just no interaction. It was him and his team investigating, and we were just left to wander around and observe, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even. I can't even mind if we even bothered trying to investigate. Rigga and I were taking photos in that, and I think that's how big a night it was. I can't even remember if we investigated them. Or we just thought, this is pants. Let's go home. You've got to, and I've watched other teams, do events, and it's all their team members that use all the gadgets. They never let the public use them. The public are always sat around outside, and they're, this is, and we do this way, and watch, and we'll investigate here. And, the team, they always seem to get plenty of activity, but they never give the public a chance to, to get involved. And if I'm going to pay £30-40 to go to one of these things, then I might be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Oh, aye. We often find that I say we try and get the public involved. We don't really, we've got K2 meters that they can walk about with, but we don't use a lot of stuff other than the cameras, and depending on the venue, we might use a Ouija board, and everything's always open to the public, but you sometimes find they're a bit apprehensive and they don't want to do anything. You'll ask them to call out and everyone's too shy. But if it's your first time investigating, then you're not really going to have the confidence to do anything.
No, you can understand if it's your first investigation and you're in a room, you don't know anybody, you think, if I shout out here, am I going to make an idiot myself? What do I say? Is anybody there? Uncle Charles, are you there? You can understand the kind of apprehension. To me, the perfect event should be, and this is just my opinion, but, you go along, say I was running the event, and you've got maybe 20 people there. Say, right, well, all right, folks, this is a K2, this is a REM pod, explain what everything is, and then say, right, take your pick, take something and just go and have a wander. We'll be about, our team will be about following you, about if you get any questions, just let them go explore, but keep tabs on them.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it's trying to get that fine balance between letting people do their own thing, but not letting them wander too freely for fear of injury and then your insurance purposes and all of that. So it's trying to get that balance, and it's hard. It's hard because you don't know how they're so unpredictable. The public, you don't know how they're going to react, and then if something was to happen, are they going to freak out? Are they going to try and run in the dark, or is there going to be an accident? It's a difficult one to manage.
Or you get somebody who's a right Rambo. Right, I'm going in here for, I'll go in first. So have you ever had anybody like that, it's freaked out and ran away or whatever? Bizarre.
Yes.
What's the most bizarre reactions you've had? I should ask, actually.
Well, there was a particular venue we went to, and for whatever reason, it just attracted certain type of folk, which most events, in fact, nearly all of our events have been absolutely fine. There's been no issues at all with the public. But for whatever reason, this one had folk who were claiming to be possessed and claiming that they had died and they could, on command, go back and forward to heaven. They were claiming that they were in contact with Hitler. Bizarre stuff. But it was difficult because you've got these, they're paid members of the public, so they've paid to be there, but you've also got other members of the public who have paid to be there, who are witnessing this bizarre behaviour, and we're having to manage that and say to the other people, listen, this isn't normal, this doesn't happen at our events. We had someone claim to be a psychic tell another member of the public that they had 6 months to live. And you're like, you can't do that. That's not normal. You can't, like, so we had to manage that, and it damages our reputation, and it was just a really difficult event to the point where I've not went back to that place.
I totally get it. I would imagine I would have a hard time, because at the end, you've got a few factors, thrown into that bucket. You've got, these people who are claiming to be psychic, possessed, whatever, they're paid to go there, so they're still a guest, basically. So you've got that kind of, you still need to be, even though you think they're off the banana, you still need to be kind of respectful to them, and kind of, I don't know, I'm going to say sympathise, not sympathise, but, kind of, oh, right, is that, right, well, that kind of way. And then you've got the normal members of the public who you're trying to keep interested, but you're trying to put the point across, look, these folk are, but you try to do it in a nice, it must have been a kind of, and then of course you're obviously trying to still run the event as well.
Yeah, it was so bad that the footage that we got, we couldn't use any of it because it was just so damaging to us. Because if we put it out there, then people would think that's what we were all about, and it's not. It was just, and other folk in the group were like, please don't put us on any of your socials because we can't be associated with this. And I'm like, listen, none of this is going on any of the socials. It's just, it was mortifying. We couldn't use any of it. So even if we could have the best capture ever, and we wouldn't be able to use it because nothing would have been credible because of the behaviour of other people.
So that's the thing, and you lose out as well because you can go on your socials and say, oh, we did an investigation Saturday night, it was a great night, but you got other people that weren't there and maybe want to see, well, what happened, show us what happened, or tell us about it, and you can't do it because because of these, I don't know what you call them, idiots, I don't know. Yeah. These possessed people, shall we say, ruining it for everybody. And it's so unfair.
Yeah, and people who have never done investigations before, they'll ask, oh, what is it you do? What's it all about? And I'll always say, the best thing for you to do is check out the videos I put on YouTube, because that's just a clear example of how an investigation runs. It shows you what we do. There's no clever editing, there's no trickery. It's the most of the time it's us just sitting in the dark waiting for things to happen. That it's a true reflection of what we do. So go on YouTube and have a look. So if I was to put up the content from that investigation, they'd have a look at it and be like, who are these crackpots? What? I'm not going to that. What are they all about? Do you know what I mean? So
you just wouldn't entertain it. I know I wouldn't entertain it. See, that's why we do our investigations live as much as possible. It's Stair we can't because there's just no signal whatsoever. Caldwell is okay outside the building, but as soon as you step into the foyer, there's nothing, no signal at all. In the basement in Caldwell, there's one tiny spot, tiny. You can't move. Once you get your feet on that spot, you can't move because you'll lose the signal. That's at the end of the basement. But you know, like say Loudon, Signal's always brand new at Loudon. And that's why we like to do it live, because anybody watching it shows them, one, you know, we're not faking this. Two, you're seeing and hearing what we are at the same time, if we hear anything. And they're also getting to see that, we can stand about for an hour, 2 hours, and nothing happens. You know, so you're kind of letting everybody see, well, same as yourself, this is what it's like. You know, it's no, there's no low-flying headstones or demons popping up from behind a headstone, or, you know, nobody's changing colour and swelling up or anything like that, you know. It's some folk might find that boring. But I think they should be. I think people, I like your opinion on this, I think people need to see the true side of the paranormal.
Yeah, aye, definitely.
You know, rather than all these people on TikTok that, you know, they go and 5 minutes in, you know, there's a shadow there. Seen a shadow? Did you hear there's a noise there as well? And you see somebody running between two trees, and you know all that cock and bull, shall we say. I think people really need to see that the paranormal, I don't find it boring, but I don't know what you, Kat. You know, if you're sitting for 2 or 3 years, I don't find that boring.
No, I find it quite peaceful.
It's peaceful, but I've said this before, I like the anticipation. Not knowing what's going to happen within the next 5, you know, 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever. You're sitting there, and it could be stone dead, pardon the pun, but you just don't know what's going to happen in that next 60 seconds or the following 60 seconds. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the thrill of the chase, isn't it?
Aye, you're sitting there and you know, and you're just listening for the least wee thing. But I mean, you know, it's happened to us. We've sat there 2, 3 years, had nothing, but like, let's go home. We're getting overrun by midges. You know, time to go. It starts pouring me rain, or you know, the real side of the paranormal. But I mean, you were saying about these people that claim they're possessed and all the rest of it. That brings you on to the amount of fakes out there that seem to have erupted on TikTok. I don't know if you remember last time I was talking about a certain individual. I think I told you their name. Fickle Marnock. We're Loudon.
I can't remember. Oh, I remember you were saying there was something, but I can't mind their name.
Have you got your phone handy?
Oh no, the Wains have taken it.
All right, never mind then. It rhymes with uck, man. Sounds like uck, man.
I'll figure it out later.
I'll maybe after the show time, but this cloud's getting worse now. I saw a video. There was having 2 people standing inside this building, and they were going like this. The next shot was of this woman who goes about with them. She's maybe a psychic medium. She was dressed as Mind Valak, who The Conjuring, the demonic nun. She was in Loudon dancing about as this demonic nun, doing a dance.
Why?
In Loudon. Well, you see, that's what I thought. Why? What's the, you know, the significance of, you know, it just pickles my mind. Why? You know, there's nothing. I don't know. I don't have any words for it. It's very seldom I'm stuck for words, as you know, Kat. This one just threw me totally. I watched it, I thought, what are you doing?
I reckon the spirits were probably watching that and thinking, what are you doing as well?
Well, you see, this is what gets us. This is the mind I told you we'd running, Lord and I, the running with this guy back at Loudon, going back a few months. Because he was taking a Ouija board into Loudon to offload a demonic spirit or negative spirit, whatever you want to call it. Well, see this wee sidekick of his, she's going about dressed as a nun there now. And you think, why? You know, I really don't get it. Some people might think I sound daft, but it's just really, really annoying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really don't get the significance of the nun. But they're going to Paris. They're off on a road trip. They might be going to Paris.
Oh, nice.
To do the catacombs and write, you know, we were here 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing.
I hope they don't get lost. Catacombs are a big place.
I hope the French police catch them.
Oh, are they not going on a tour, or are they just get in?
They're just getting in.
Oh, that's bad.
I mean,
have they not watched the stuff on YouTube about people going missing down there?
No, I saw one a film years ago about the catacombs and people going missing and stuff. But I didn't know if it was actually true or not.
I think. I might be getting confused. There's definitely somewhere that it's so, but the system's so large that parts of it are closed off because it's unmapped, and the only people that are allowed in are like maintenance folk. And there's been actual tour guides have been known to get lost down there for like a couple of days. The authorities have to go down and find them. They're pretty notorious for folk going missing.
And maybe the catacombs, because they're huge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think anybody realises just how big it's not just a couple of tunnels.
No, it goes on for miles.
I was just going to say, they literally do going for miles and miles. I mean, this clown, that's one. There's another one. I was actually going to have this lassie on the show because she sounded all right, but then she started doing lives saying that she was talking to Princess Diana, Nicola Bulley, who lassie that was killed a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking to her to get the truth of what actually happened to her. And Princess Diana, Nicola Bulley, and there was somebody, was it Michael Jackson or something? But she was contacting these people, and I thought, you know what? No, you're not coming on the show. No, I can't entertain. She was actually done a video the other day defending that Caputo woman for America.
Who is she?
That Teresa Caputo, YouTuber.
Oh well.
She's a famous American medium, but she's been called out more times in bingo numbers. You know, and she's got this big massive head of hair and what have you. But the amount of people that have actually called her out on, you know, the stuff she's done. So that was another one. Then of course I told you about the woman who thought she was Eve.
Oh yeah.
You know, all these folk are on TikTok, and the amount of we've had a few mediums follow us recently, or people claim to be mediums, and as soon as you follow, I usually just follow people back if they give you a follow on TikTok, which I think is the right kind of thing to do. But as soon as you follow them back, bang, they message you, and it's always the same. I don't usually DM people, but I feel your presence is very strong.
Yeah,
I'm drawn to you.
I just
ever get them?
All the time. I just ignore it.
Well, I either block them or I wind them up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was one a few weeks back. She was American. She was, what's your star sign and stuff like that, and what's your desire? And so I mailed her back and said, my desire is to have plenty of space, you know. And that was it. Never heard from her again. So that's what I said. And I've done it with a few folk, you know, guys as well. You know, what do you desire most in this world? What is it you want most in the world? And you say, well, I would like blah, 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 you know, A, B, and C. And by 9 times out of 10, you never hear from them again. But every single time you follow them, they hit on you with you know, do you wish a reading? And I feel your presence is strong, and you think, just going to go away. And they always want you to go to WhatsApp. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I don't even message them, so I've never entertained them at all.
Oh no, I like to have a wee laugh with them every now and again.
Why WhatsApp? Why did they do that?
I don't know. It's always on. Usually the moment we talk on WhatsApp. A couple of times I says, well, I don't use WhatsApp because I'd bother years ago, and oh no, that's all right. Would you still like a reading? And so I sometimes I'll block them right away, but other times like, no, do you know what? You're trying to wind me up, so I'm just going to wind you back up, and then I'll block you. It's a wee bit of fun. Do you know what I mean? But I think TikTok's notorious for
it. Yeah, the shame of it as well is there'll be folk that fall for these things and get hooked in.
Aye, and you wonder how far down the road that the money starts to come into it.
Mm-hmm.
That they start to charge you for a reading or whatever it is. You get in touch with your long lost Uncle Frank or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just and it's to me it's just making a mockery of the paranormal.
Mm-hmm. It's making a mockery of anyone that's genuine. It's making it harder for genuine folk to make a living and do their thing. And like all it takes is for someone to have one bad experience with one fraudulent medium, and that's the rest of them tarred with the same brush, which is unfortunate because I believe there is genuine ones out there, and their life just gets made harder by all the fraudulent ones because there's more fraudulent ones than there is genuine ones.
Oh no, there is genuine. I mean, that Kimber who's just joined us from America, she's doing her American side. We've known Kimber for a few years, and we did an investigation we did 2 or 3 investigations at the train station through here, and one night with Kimber on through StreamYard like this.
Mm-hmm.
And she was doing in England. We didn't tell her where we were. She knew we were at a train station, but that was it. And she says, there's a woman there, and she used to live in the cottages above that. It's not a single story. It says there used to be cottages, houses above where you're standing, and this woman used to live in there. Now, we didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And it was until later on that we inquired. It says, there used to be houses on top of the actual station.
Mm-hmm.
We can way back. And Kimber was able to tell us that. So she didn't know where we were or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we thought, no, we're not going to tell you. We just want to see what you come up with. And she says there's a woman, and we picked up on a woman quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are genuine mediums out there, but as you say, these clowns on TikTok, whatever it might be, they just ruin it, They make everybody doubtful.
Mm-hmm.
And us as well. Paranormal teams. Have you ever been called fake and all the rest of it? We've been called fake a couple of times.
I don't think so. I've had folk not so much calling us fake, but saying that we're what was the word I used? Was it conning people out their money? I had quite a heated debate, not an argument, and I was like, listen, it's not my job to prove that the paranormal exists. It's not my job to get people to change their mind from becoming a skeptic to a full believer. All I'm doing is booking a venue and running an event. So the money that people are paying for the tickets are going right back into the venue that we've booked. They're going back into supporting the historic buildings that we go to. We don't make any money. I'm like, what? How are we conning people? We don't make any profit at all. Like we're pretty much hobbyists, and we thought it would be good to open it up to the public. And every penny we make goes back into the buildings that we're investigating. And I'm not conning anyone because I'm not doing anything that's fake, and I'm not, like I said, it's not up to me to convince people to believe. The only way you're going to ever believe in the paranormal is if you have your own genuine experience. And even at our investigations, we tell people, if you experience something, it's up to you to decide whether that was paranormal or not. If you don't feel it was paranormal, fair enough. And we'll never say it's paranormal. We'll always say, I can't explain that. Or whatever that was, it was the heating coming on or something, or that was just a normal part of the building moving. Or if it's something that I don't have an answer for, I'll just say, I can't explain that. It's up to everybody else to decide, have they just experienced something paranormal or not? And don't get me wrong, most folk, when they have a paranormal experience, it's very personal and it's not at one of our events. So they might have a paranormal experience at an event, but they're still, because it's in a public event, they're not too sure and they question everything. And they just say, oh, well, I can't explain what that was. Whereas most folk that have true experiences where they're absolutely convinced that it happened, it usually happens when they're themselves in their own residence or at work or somewhere unexpected, somewhere they're not looking for the paranormal. It could be in a train station, in a bus station, it could be in a restaurant, it could be anywhere, but they're not at an event. And that's when they have their experience, and that's when they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Like that was 100% a ghost or paranormal. And that's what makes them believers. But interestingly enough as well, you'll have people say to me, and you've probably had this as well, they'll be like, oh, paranormal, I don't believe in that. Oh, it's a load of shite. Oh, that's all nonsense. And then they'll quickly turn around and go, but actually, do you know, there was this one time where this happened. And all of a sudden they're contradicting themselves and they've gone full circle and they're asking your opinion on what it could be. And you're like, 2 minutes ago you were saying you didn't believe in any of this. So people talk themselves round.
Well, the day I totally get you, I totally agree. I've met a few people that says, you know, I don't believe in it, and etc. And I say, well, and I'll say to them, well, have you ever had something, you know, happen to you? Have you ever seen, smelled, heard, whatever it might be, something that you can't explain? And you see them thinking, I have actually. I say, well, I'm not saying it's because we're the same as you. We'll not say it's paranormal. We just say, you know, we'll try to debunk it and say, well, we can't debunk it, so we can't explain that. End of story. Because you know yourself, as soon as you claim something's paranormal, you're opening yourself up for all sorts. You know, you're making yourself a big target, you know. Everybody's jumping in. And so I'll say to them, well, I'm not saying that it's paranormal, but, you know, think about the thing that happened. Could you explain it? No, I couldn't. You know, I don't know. You know, I heard this noise and there was nobody else in the house or whatever it might be. And I said, well, you know, just take that on board. I'm not trying to convert you, but just, you know, have a wee think, what could have caused that noise?
A table could levitate across the room in front of 20 witnesses and you will still have people questioning it or denying that it's a paranormal. There will always be people that question it. Even if you've got undeniable proof, they won't want to, but people don't want to believe because they don't like that it can't be explained. And it also, if they choose to believe, it then means, well, where do I stop? If paranormal activity is real, does that mean other things are real? And they don't want to question that belief system that they have. So they just choose to not believe in anything, even if the proof is 100% in front of them.
Or they've seen, you know, they've seen these fake people that we were just talking about there on TV, YouTube, wherever. And so they've got that stuck in their mind that everything's fake. And as you say, you could have 20 people see it, but, you know, you might get one guy standing there that saw this table moving, but he's also watched 2 or 3 folk on YouTube faking it. And no, that's not real. I don't care what you say. It's with that branch at Loudon, you know, that moved. No, we can't. I mean, you and I and the rest of your team, everybody that's seen it, we seen it moving. We know that nobody was touching it. We know there was no mice or anything, you know, rolling it about. But we can't turn and say that was paranormal. Because we just don't know, even though we know ourselves, you know, I don't have any explanation for that branch moving. You know, wasn't it the wind, wasn't there a shift in the ground or temperature or nothing? That branch did solidly move. And again, so we, you know, even though we've witnessed it and seen it, we can't say it's paranormal.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that make sense? You know, I mean, at Loudon, when I smelt that, when I had the headphones and the blindfold on, and I got the strong smell of perfume 3 times. Well, there was nothing known about me to create that smell.
Mm-hmm.
And the lassies, they didn't have any perfume, but I know myself, I smelt it.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to that woman for Friends Aloud, and she said, well, another 2 women says that they've smelled perfume in the same area that you smelled it.
Mm-hmm. Which is
But,
interesting that it's the same part, it's the same area.
It was the exact same. It was in the next time we're there, I'll show you exactly where it was. And it was really, really strong. See, I thought one of the lassies was standing beside me because I was like, who's got perfume on? And then I was standing there when I smelled it twice there, and then went back and joined the group. And I was standing in the middle of the group, and Tayami is sitting outside. That's her daughter eating chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
She's just been. I made a big chicken in that the night for the potatoes and stuff. Her daughter is a skip basically when it comes to food. Just she'll eat anything basically. So I was standing, which I found really weird because I was standing with the rest of the team. There must have been about 10 or 12 was there, and I was like, "You smell that perfume?" And nobody else could smell it.
That's weird.
You're standing there. Can you not smell that? And nobody could smell it, but I could stand. And I'm the one for making stuff up. I didn't publicise it or anything. But do you smell? No, I don't smell it. So see, you cannot smell that. And I just find that bizarre. I know what I smelled. Smelled. Is it? I know what I smelled, or is it know what I smelled? I think it's smelled.
Smelled. Go with smelled.
I go with smelled. I know what I smelled. So I mean, it's things like that. The mechanic called paranoia. I mean, I've got a good idea who it was. Because she's been reported there many times as Lady Flora. I want to say Hastings. I probably got this wrong. But she's buried in the crypt, and she has been reported to have been seen in the Kirk quite a few times. So I've got a fair idea that possibly could have been her, but we can't prove it, can we?
No.
Without her actually coming up and saying hello.
It's interesting though, because it smells quite a lot. We've had a lot of investigations, and that seems to be one of the things that people, just normal members of the public, will report. And whether it's the smell of cigarette smoke, cigars, pipe smoke, perfume, burning, rotten eggs, it always seems to be that's what people notice first, is a smell.
We had a smell. We've done Stair a few times, and one time was just Sarah, Laura, and me. And Stairs it's in the middle of nowhere, basically. And we were standing at the back of the church, and the three is get the strong smell of paint, fresh paint.
Oh, that's really specific.
The church hadn't been renovated. The church was shut. There wasn't any fresh paint on the windows. And so you're surrounded, one side is all trees, the other side is just all fields. And the kind of smell you get off of fields. But the trees get strong smell of fresh paint. So where the hell's that coming from? And we had a wee look about, and we thought, there's nothing here. There's no fresh paint. There's a lot of bizarre things happened. There's quite a few bizarre things happened at Stair. There was one time the lassies and that were in the back, and I was in the front. And was like Magnolia paint. It was really, really strong. But they were in the back of church. I was in the front. We need to get you to Stair, then you understand better. But I was in the front for something because our bags were in the front. And I came back round, and the lassies went, "Did you not hear us shouting you?" Never heard a thing. They had heard people. Correct me if Sarah still was it. Correct me if I'm wrong. The lassies had heard people shouting nearby, or in the actual kirkyard. But I never heard a thing. Now, I know I'm deaf, but there was no Dales there down the front. But they says that they heard folk shouting or a guy shouting. I'll tell you the weirdest one about Stair, and it wasn't us, it wasn't me that witnessed it. We did it with Spig, and you've got the churchyard and you've got a wee car park next to it. We were there with Spig, and Craig, Laura's husband, was there as well. And David, who was with Spig, Craig, Laura's husband, and there was somebody else. They says they saw a man crossing over the car park with, I'm sure he had a white shirt on and grey trousers. They thought it was somebody going to try and break in one of the cars. So the three of them ran up, and the guy disappeared. Guy vanished. We looked down, there's two roads. One of us, we looked down the roads, we looked in the wee forest. This guy just vanished into nowhere. And the thing is, there's nowhere he could go. And he was that real that, you know, the three of them ran up because they thought he was going to try and get into one of the cars or something. But this guy, he says, just, I never seen him, you know. But they three saw him. And he says, he walked across there and he's gone.
And then he was gone. That's interesting.
And it was solid enough that they were convinced it was a, you know.
That was an actual person.
So, you know, as we're saying, it's all these wee things. It doesn't need to be something big. You know, like you were saying, events and people, you know, expect tables maybe flying about or whatever. You know, it can be a simple smell, but smells do seem to come quite a lot. Any idea why that might be?
Don't know. I can only imagine it's a thing that's easy for people to identify, and it's an easy thing. Like it goes back to energy and spirits and memory as well. They say smell triggers memory, so it might be easier for a spirit to get the memory of a scent for someone to smell than it is to try and move something or make noise or show themselves. And it's something that they can do that multiple people can witness at once. So if they were to put a scent in a room, potentially everyone in that room will straight away be able to smell that scent. So you might have, say, 5 people all at once being able to witness something like the smell and corroborate it with each other, instead of a spirit having to try and touch 5 different people or make a noise in the hopes that one person hears it, whereas a smell is very distinctive and it's easy to detect. What corroborates it is if those people then left that room and different people went in, didn't speak to each other, and then those 5 people could also smell it.
I see, when I smelt that perfume, it was just me that smelt it, but I say the other 2 ladies that I'd never met, well, I met them after that, but at the time I'd never met them. They smelled. But you've got me thinking, what you just said there, Kat, you've got me thinking that the paint smell, could that have been, this might sound nuts, but it's a paranormal. I don't know if anything sounds nuts in the paranormal. Could that possibly have been the spirit of somebody who used to work on the church?
Potentially. Someone that was a painter. It's a unique smell that would trigger a memory that's linked to them. Maybe that was like their entire career was being a painter, and that's what connected them to, or that's what people would remember of them. So it could have been. It's just, it makes sense that it was something like that, because it's not a place where you would usually smell paint. So if it was like now the incense that they use in church, if you could smell that, you'd be like, oh well, that's linked to churches, that's a normal thing to smell. But for it to be paint in an area that's not linked to painting or paint, then you can only assume it's the spirit of a painter.
It's a very, very weird one. But we know we smelt it. You know, so we didn't imagine it, and it's another mystery for the diary, basically. You know, why did we smell it? Where did it come from? With somebody causing the smell, or or whatever. And I think this is the true side of the paranormal. I think folk, we were saying way back about people need to experience the true side of it. It doesn't necessarily need to be something that they can explain. It could be something that's just totally random that doesn't make sense. At that time, but the spirit that's doing it, causing it, just hasn't either the opportunity or the energy to sort of come through and make it clearer why it's there.
A lot of it's cryptic, isn't it? Nothing's ever straightforward.
No, nothing's ever straightforward. It's and that's the reason I love the paranormal, because there's that many different things. No doubt you've encountered a ton of them. All right, here's a question for you. Here's a question. Doesn't matter what location we go to, I get abuse. Why do you think? Every location we go to, Greyfriars, she said it at Stairs, she had it at Loudon, she get called. What was it, be a fat bitch or something at Loudon? She gets quite a wee bit of abuse. Any ideas as to why?
Could it be that it's not a spirit that's connected to any of the locations, and it's a spirit that's coming through that's always, it's like connected to her, maybe?
So that's a possible. No, it does make sense. A spirit's following her about. Basically. Because she does get it all the time. And some of it's quite rude, actually. Some of the words. What was it having the Greyfriars be? You get told to, was it F off or something at Greyfriars? When we done there. But as you call it, Loudon and Stair. It just makes you, again, that's another mystery. Why Sarah? Why all different locations? Who is it? Is it a family member that's passed? An old enemy? That's maybe passed her that she doesn't know about? Or it just happens too many times.
Could it be a family history link to Sarah? Was there someone in her past that caused problems, and for whatever reason there's spirits that don't like that? I don't know. That's just a guess. Someone in a past, maybe she was someone in a past life.
There's a thing. Could it be? She was told she was fat and to get out to get out at Greyfriars. Could it be somebody for a past life that Sarah had connections with, and that somebody is still in spirit, whereas Sarah's no? Does that make sense? And
what would be interesting, is it always the same spirit that's given the abuse, or is it different spirits?
We don't know. We think it's... We don't know. We think possibly a male, maybe. But it's happened that many times, and it's always... Don't get me wrong, I mean, I've had my sleeve tucked, Loris at her backside felt, Sarah's brothers had his hair touched or pulled, one and two. We've all had something different happen to us, different locations. But Sarah seems to be the target for the abuse.
Could it be that it's happened so many times that you expect it to happen now, so the spirits do it because you're expecting it, if that makes sense? Like they know she's the target, or because a pattern has formed where she's always the target, so now the spirits are just like, go after Sarah. It's always Sarah. She's just it. Do you know what I mean?
She's the easy one. She's the target. Let's go and call something.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's possible. It's just, I don't know. It kind of makes you wonder. You try and work it out. You think, no, there's no reason why. If she was somebody evil or something like that, they'd done a lot of bad stuff, then you can maybe understand that spirit maybe don't like you, because you know spirits, as far as we know, pick up on your personality. They can tell whether you're, you know, an angel or Satan, basically. So, I mean, if Sarah was a right wronging, as they say, then that could possibly explain it. But she's no, you know, so it's, I don't know. And again, that's what makes it fascinating. This is the real side of paranormal that these people don't see or don't want to see.
All the unanswered questions.
Aye, because I mean, this clown that's on TikTok, you know, he's every time they go out and investigate and they get it's always a dark spirit, you know. There's never a friendly one.
That does nothing.
Oh, it's really every single time, and then it's a shadow running in the trees and all the rest of it. And it's just, I mean, they drew a pentagram on a headstone in Loudon and all with salt.
To what end? Why? To keep the salt?
I don't know why, but they were making fun of the guy, whoever was interred in the grave, saying that, what was it, that he'd been a smoker but he didn't have any lungs, something like that. They done a video, they were all laughing. It was hard to make out exactly what they were saying, but they done a pentagram with salt on a headstone. Well, it wasn't a headstone, it was a tablestone. Somebody's grave, and they thought this was hilarious. And then you've got this idiot dressed as a nun dancing about. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? It's totally, it's infuriating, but it's that idiotic. You need to feel sorry for them sometimes. Does that make sense?
Aye. Do they not realise that the majority of spirits have moved on? Like, they're past caring about folk taking the piss out of them. They're like, aye, you do you. They're living it up in the afterlife. They could not give. They just don't care. They've moved on. They're above all that. Like, the majority of spirits, I can only assume, like, are just not interested in that anymore. Like, and why would they entertain you? If you're out trying to communicate with the afterlife, they're not going to want to communicate you if you're out there taking the piss. Why would they? They'd ignore you. They'd be like, no, I'm not talking to you. You just want to make a fool of me.
Every time they go out, they get something, and there's like one guy that goes with him, and this guy's been in the paranormal for many, many years, and he used to be respected in the paranormal. You know, I'll tell you as after we come up, but he used to, you know, he was respected, but now everybody I know, they're just laughing at him. He's just destroyed his whole reputation. You know, which is sad in a way, but it's no sad because he knows exactly what he's doing. And he's hanging about with idiots. And all the years that he spent building up his group and, you know, getting to know people, he's just doing the toilet now, basically. And everybody's laughing at him because of who he's out with. And he's going along with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, I mean, we've been lucky enough to make yourselves, obviously, and we've been lucky enough in the 6 years we've been going that we've met a lot. But don't get me wrong, we've met a few lunatics, no doubt you have, I know. You know, and you kind of, right, okay, we'll not be going back out with them again. You know, we'll just put that as lesson learned. But the majority of people we have met are all genuine and down to earth, and they're not interested in the fame and, you know, money and all the rest of it. They just want to go out and they don't even want to prove the paranormal's real because I think it's never going to be done.
No, not in our lifetime.
No, I don't know. Maybe in 100, 200 years' time, somebody will come up with a way of doing it, but, you know, we're not even, as you said, we're not trying to prove that paranormal's real. We just try to communicate with whoever might be on the other side of the curtain. If they want to talk. That's the other thing. I mean, we do Loudon a lot, You know, I have done people say, "What, you know, why go back to the same location time and time again?" So because you're building up a relationship with whoever's there, and the more you build up that, you get to know them, and the more you build up that relationship, you know, the more information you might get or might know. Don't get me wrong, we do the odd place, you know, one half same as yourself probably, but I think it's important to try and build up that relationship so that spirits, because I mean at Loudon a couple of times we've all had our names called. There was one time we went, Sarah wasn't there, I think she wasn't well or something, but Sarah wasn't there, and we got a clear EVP saying, "Where's Sarah?"
Just to get to know you, they get to recognise you.
Aye, and so we said, "Well, you know, where's Sarah the night? Why is she not here? What's happened? You know, what have I missed?" You know, and I think that's when you know that you've made that kind of connection. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't always make sense, though. I really don't. But I say we were only going to do an hour, but we kind of went over the hour. You know what I mean?
You've got your force to do.
Shh! I told you that in confidence. You know that's my street cred, right? I'm sitting here with the black vest top on trying to look all macho and mean and everything. You just ruined that, Cat.
Listen, 21st century folk have got respect for a man that keeps his force clean.
You can't, I'm telling you, you can't get any better than a clean flare. You know, keep your feet and your lungs clean. So see, Sarah and Laura think I've got ADHD because I tend to do like 5 jobs at the one time.
I get you.
You know, do you do the same?
Oh, yeah. I had this very conversation with Daniel the other day there. I'll go to start the dishes and then I'll see a laundry needs done, so I'll put the washing machine on, but I can't get the washing machine done until I've done the dishes. And then I'll remember, oh, wait a minute, I've got something upstairs I need to do. And before you know it, I've got like 10 things on the go, but I haven't finished any of them. It rips his nothing.
Aye. That's what I tend to do. I could be doing the dinner and I'll notice a mark on a cupboard or something, and then I'll go and clean that cupboard. Yeah. And then there might be a couple of dishes needing wash while I'm still cooking the dinner. You know, or maybe the cats or the dog need fed or something. Right, I'll need to do that. And then you see the what you've not done, you've not hung up the washing or whatever it might be. You know, or you'll be sitting and you'll see a mark, you know, on a unit on the telly or something, and you need to get up and get it and get rid of it.
You can't rest until it's done.
Aye, because you know, and you're constantly getting different ideas in your head all the time, you know. And you could be doing something, could be the most boringest task, like, I don't know, like doing the dishes, and you think, right, I can do that as well. Let's do that. Right, but I'll finish these and then I'll do that, and then I'll come back to that and get that done. Do you know what I mean? It's just boom. And so you're the same as me then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See if you're still watching, Sarah, I'm not alone in this. You know.
There's other weirdos out there.
Aye. It's like the night I was sitting in the living room, and usually when I'm doing the flares, I'll brush all the flares, because it's all laminated, so I'll brush the flares and then I'll wash them. But the night I was sitting about, I don't know, 7:30, 7:45 or something, and the sun was coming through the patio doors, and I could see we've got a Jack Russell and he sheds like nobody's business. You know, he's very short hair, but it ends up everywhere. And I could see all the wee hairs all on the floor. So I had to go up and I had to brush the entire living room and hall and hoover it. Even though I knew I was going to do it later on, but I had to go up and do it there and then because it was just bugging the hell out of me. You know what I mean? So, do you do that kind of thing as well?
Aye, yeah. I was sitting in the garden and the way the sun was reflecting on the windows, I could see that the windows were dirty. And I'm like, Daniel, the windows need cleaned. I need to clean the windows. And he's like, you're not doing it tonight. It's too late. And I'm like, I need to get it done. So now all I'm thinking about is that those windows need done. And I'm like, other people will see it. And he's like, nobody's going to see it. It's the back windows. Nobody can see it.
Do you know what? Sarah said to me yesterday, the day before, we need to get these windows done, and I said to Sarah earlier on, I'll get these windows done tomorrow. But now that you've mentioned it, it'll probably stick in my head that they're still needing done.
Sorry.
So, I'm not doing them right, so that. I'm going to do my flares.
We'll both be cleaning windows tomorrow.
Aye. It's all, the trouble is, you've got a big patio door, and for some reason, the dog and the kids, I've said the dog doesn't use the handle, but the dog puts its paws up in the door. But for some reason, the wee one, she'll just shut the door and you see the handprints everywhere.
Yeah.
Which you just, and then you go and clean it, and 5 minutes later, wee handprints are like that again. That's my street cred right down the toilet now, isn't it? Know what I mean? But I think we'll wind it up there, because I know you're a busy lady and you're up early in the morning and stuff like that. So we'll keep it, but I'll keep a holiday just for a wee sec there. It's right here on my desk. See what, and plus, that's the other thing, Sarah and Laura says, I don't know if you're the same. You'll be talking about one thing, going to another thing, and then come back to the original thing.
Yeah.
You do that as well?
Yep.
You're the same as me. You get ADHD according to Laura and Sarah. But it's like, I've got a big black mat on my desk here, and I've just noticed it's all wee white, I don't know, bits of crumb or something, I don't know where it is, but now that'll annoy me. I could be mid-conversation and I'll see it, and I'll just start picking it up. Or, a bad habit, I know I'm going to wind up. Do you ever put rubbish in your pocket? You see how you walk about and you might see a wee bit of house or something. Do you ever pick up and put it in your pocket?
No, I keep it in my hand until I get to the bin. But then I'll pick up another bit and then another bit, so I'll have a handful of stuff. And I could have been in the middle of doing something entirely different, but I've now got a handful of rubbish, so I now need to go to the bin and then go back to what I was doing previously and probably find more rubbish along the way.
Probably. No, I've got a habit, I'll pick it up and I'll put them up. I do empty my pockets, I will emphasise that. My pockets are not like bulging with crap, but it's with wee bits of house or crumbs or something, I'll lift them up now, right, in my pocket. And then later on, I'll go and I'll empty it all out. You know what, the fluffing. I think we need help. Or maybe we've been doing the paranormal for too long, I don't know. Our brains are pickled. But anyway, we'll wind up there. Where can people find you, though?
Unlockedparanormal.com. We've also got a summer sale on just now, so all our events are £30 for a ticket. So go and grab it whilst you can, because it's going to be a short-lived sale. Find us on all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Google Unlocked Paranormal, and you should be able to find us. Hopefully we will see you at an event.
So there you go, folks. Go and give them a wee look up on the socials, and if you're in the mood for a genuine investigation event, you know what I mean, or both, then summer sale, grab it while stocks last. That's what you meant to say, Kat.
Sorry, while stocks last.
That's what they were saying. Grab it while stocks last. I shall give them a look up. But we're going to wind it up there. So we are back on Sunday night with Jamie Kistorfin, where Jamie and I will be talking the truth about the history of the Edinburgh Vaults. There's a lot of... We did one in Greyfriars about 3 weeks ago, because all these stories about the Mackenzie poltergeist, the Black Mausoleum, blah, blah, blah. So Jamie and I did a show where we kind of put the record straight. So we're doing one on Sunday about the Edinburgh Vaults. And we will be out at Loud and Cut on Saturday night on Facebook. I was going to say weather permitting, but the way it's looking now, it'll be definitely on. All right, folks, so go and give Kat and her team a look up, and we shall see you hopefully Saturday night. We don't see that, we'll see you on Sunday. So enjoy the heat and stay covered up. Don't end up like that. I mean, on the burn. Again, Sarah gave me into trouble because I'd done the grass without wearing a hat. You don't think about it, you just say, I'm doing the grass. I plugged everything in and just went out and done it. And then when I picked Sarah up, she said, did you wear a hat? Felt like my mother. Did you wear it? No, I didn't. Well, I'm sorry. I told you to wear a hat. Do you know what I mean? So that's me grounded. Anyway, we're away, folks. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.